Hi everyone, Diana here, and today we're going to talk about chat permissions and private chats while using Zoom. So, based on some feedback we received from our survey, we wanted to provide some guidance for teachers when using the chat feature in Zoom. Now, some of the comments that we received or concerns were that students were leaving inappropriate comments in the chat for the entire class to see. Or we were also hearing that students were having private one-to-one conversations with other students in the chat during instruction. So we have two places where we want to give you some guidance. First, we want to talk about your Zoom settings and how it should be defaulted to disable the private chat one-to-one. And secondly, while you're conducting a Zoom class, settings can be adjusted in real time to allow students to answer specific questions posed by a teacher in the chat, either directly to the teacher or to the entire class. Or we can disallow the chat feature when it's not being used for instructional purposes. So we're going to take you through that right now. So in visiting zoom.us, you can access your settings, and you want to go to the in-meeting basics section of your settings. You want to make sure that the chat toggle is turned on and that you've checked the box next to prevent participants from saving the chat. And if you do that, you'll have to click save in order for that to take effect. Next, you want to make sure that private chat is toggled off. It'll be gray, okay? This will disallow students to talk to one another on the chat without you really knowing that that's happening, okay? The next aspect that I want to share with you is that while you're instructing and while you're in a Zoom call, you can adjust the settings in real time. So if you want to deactivate the chat, what you'll need to do is open up the chat box, and at the very bottom, you'll see in the right-hand corner the three dots, which indicates that there's more, right? And now that we are licensed users, you can decide to deactivate the chat by checking next to no one. When you do that in the chat box goes away for the participants. Now you can also opt to activate the chat, and you can activate it in two separate ways. You can decide that students can chat with just the host directly. And when you do select host, if you have a designated co-host like a para, a support person, an inclusion teacher, they are also an option for the student to reach out to, okay? Or you can decide and you can click in real time everyone publicly, and by doing that, you are allowing the student to chat so that all their classmates can also see their comments. So you want to use the private chat in a way, if you choose the host only, as a way in which students can reach out to their support person, and you can provide modifications and differentiation within the class time, but not letting all their peers see the conversations that are happening. So in order for a student to directly reach you or the co-host, what they will need to do is open the chat box, and at the bottom, if you have, as the host of the session, selected host only, what they will see is that they have a drop-down box next to the send to menu. When they do that, the two options, if there's a co-host, will appear, and they get to select who they want to send the message to, and then they can privately send the message to whoever, yourself or the co-host, and this will enable students to send messages to paras or support person or even you, and not be embarrassed or have a conversation that is for all eyes to see. So I hope you found this tip helpful. It'll take a little practice, but in real time, you'll be able to make those adjustments while you are instructing in Zoom.